Since he was their first draft pick in '05, Ryan Zimmerman has been called the face of the Nationals franchise. From his first walk-off home run in '06 to his christening of Nationals Park in '08, he has been dubbed baseball's Mr. Walk-Off. Last night in the 10th inning, he reminded us why. Zimmerman to right field. Into the corner and gone! It's a homer! A walk-off for Ryan Zimmerman! 9 years apart against the Yankees. Find out what will be tonight's recipe to success for the Nats. These last 3 weeks, one of the most fun rides we've ever been on with our team, the Nats. In fact, some folks last night were so excited they paid on their way out of the ballpark. That's how good it's been around here as Zimmerman got the walk-off. He hit .397 as a rookie when he was 20 years old. First walk-off homer FP when he was 21. So maybe no surprise a guy can do that from the start of his career.
Well, when you have success in those situations, it's not a big deal. It's been a couple years since he's done it, but it was nice to see him last night. It was nice to see all the home runs last night. When you talk about what the Nats hitters did, it started with Ian Desmond in the first inning. Solo home run, his third of the year, so he got the party started. Warm night, ball carrying. Nats are 73-20 all-time when Ian Desmond homer, so that was a good sign of things to come. And then the hottest man on the planet, Bryce Harper, two-time player of the week, back-to-back weeks, and in my math, I'm thinking maybe player of the month. And then solo home run for Wilson Ramos that extended his hitting streak to 19 games, tied the game at 6. Buffalo horns for everybody. And then this one, Mr. Walkoff, the 10th time he's hit a walk-off home run. We'll get to the list of elites that he's with. And my favorite part was the bucket of filth right there. We're going to talk about what's in the bucket of filth tonight during the broadcast.
He said he could definitely pick up the scent of some coffee in there. So 10 career walk-off homers for Ryan. Most active since '06, and 3 active players with the walk-offs, and Ryan Zimmerman is just up there with the elites. By the way, Stan Musial and another great former Cardinal, now Angel Albert Pujols on that other list. The bullpen, the Nats don't win without them last night either. They combined for 5 innings, giving up nothing. It was Trinan, and then it was Thornton. Little help from Span. Aaron Barrett got a big out. Drew Storen did not have a save opportunity, but he kept the Yanks in check, and finally Matt Grace would get the win right before the Zimmerman walk-off. These young arms, with help of the Nats defense, outstanding lately. Can't win without those extra arms coming in from right field. Zimmerman back in the lineup tonight. It's so nice he gets another chance to play. Clear skies for the most part, 70 degrees. It's been a cool day in the district and in surrounding areas. Breezes have been blowing, and they're coming in from left field right now. So we get this thing going with Jordan Zimmerman against Brett Gardner.
Well, last start for Jordan, the fastball 76% of the time, averaged 93. Slider curveball combination 24%, and guess what? He threw a changeup, the only one he's thrown all year last time out.
Right on time at 7:05. First pitch is right in there.
You remember he shut out the Padres in 6 strong innings, scattered 6 hits, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk through 91 pitches.
So Jordan is 3-2, making his 9th start. Gardner won for his last 12, hitting .291, and Jacoby Ellsbury went on the DL today with a strained right knee after his problem on a swing here last night. So that bumps Gardner up to the leadoff spot, and that's a foul ball. 1-2 behind Gardner. They've got some interesting guys because they're switch hitters who can hit for power, including Mark Teixeira, behind Carlos Beltran, and a couple of spots ahead of Chase Headley. So 3 guys who can drive the ball, who hit for power. And Teixeira and Beltran, by the way, tied all time with 375 home runs, 4th by a switch hitter, and 2 teammates are tied. Gardner overall hitting .291 with a .366 on base percentage. The Yankees are 9th in the league in hitting, 5th in runs, and 3rd in homers. If somebody would have told you in spring training that the Astros and the Mariners would lead the American League in home runs in the middle of May, would you have believed it? Marvin Hudson, 16-year veteran, has the plate, and Jim Joyce, the crew chief, at 3rd. Little pop fly, it's going to fall in front of Bryce Harper.
Brett Gardner with the leadoff single right in front of Bryce Harper. He's in right field tonight. Span in center, Moore in left. Desmond Escobar left side. Espinosa Zimmerman right side. And Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
Right-hander for the Yankees, but Tyler Moore gets a start out in right field. Get him some at-bats. Huge home run for the Nationals in Arizona last week. And here's Carlos Beltran, who's on a 10-game hitting streak. He has seen Jordan Zimmerman 15 times and has 4 base hits. That was Gardner's first hit of the series, by the way, after going 0 for 5 in the number 2 slot last night. The Yankees are 4th in the American League with 27 steals, but suddenly 14 of them are on the disabled list. Beltran drives one to center. Deep right center. Span cannot cut it off. Gardner will score. Beltran will stop at second. And just like that, the Yankees are on top.
Beltran, a guy that's been struggling for most of the year. He's heated it up lately. And you see an example right there. I don't think that ball hopped as high as Denard Span thought it was going to hop. Kind of stayed down, got underneath him, and that allowed Gardner to score. That might have been second and third, nobody out, had Span cut that off. But remember Denard Span with the game saver last night on the Brett Gardner line drive in the top of the 10th.
And then Teixeira goes up hacking. That'll be a productive out for him. Zimmerman handles it. Beltran to third base, 1 out.
There was a lot of unsung heroes in last night's win. I thought Yunel Escobar's at bat to move the line to Ryan Zimmerman in the bottom of the 10th. He took some nasty sliders, drew a walk, and set the stage for Mr. Walkoff.
Infield in and a shift. Ian Desmond's the only man on the left side against Brian McCann. That's a nasty slider down and in.
90. His slider usually averages about 86, 87.
Then McCann will lift it to center. Beltran not as fast as he used to be. Denard Span's going to wing it home anyway. Strong throw, but Beltran scores, and it's 2-0.
Well, just far enough, right? I mean, when you hit this initially, you're thinking, is this deep enough to score Carlos Beltran? But you watched Denard Span do a nice job of getting behind the ball. It's a great shot of it, right? He plays right in front of you, folks. And the throw just kind of tails up the first base line a little bit, but I think he would have beat it even if it was on line. Good throw by Span. Good at bat by McCann.
Base is empty, 2 outs. Chase Headley, the hitter. 3 for 19 career against Zimmerman. And steps in at 236. So 5 earned runs allowed in the first inning of his 9 starts.
Well, you wonder why teams hack on the first pitch against Jordan Zimmerman. For his career, opponents have a .357 batting average against when they put the first pitch in play.
That's to the outside edge with 93. Chase Headley's only walked 9 times this year. And hitting .236.
Puts a short slider tonight.
Yeah, and Chase, don't take off your shin pad just yet. He was unbuckling to go down to first base.
Watch how late this slider is. I mean, that looks like a fastball. Good frame by Ramos to get that call, but there's not a lot to it. Looks like a heater and just a little break at the end.
3-2 pitch, and Headley strikes out. So Zimmerman does get the last 3 outs pretty quickly. For the Gardner single, the Beltran double setting up 2 for the Yanks. Nationals baseball on Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you, and by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at OCOcean.com. Denard Span will lead the way for a lineup that's now 5th in the league in hitting, 1st in runs, and 3rd in home runs. Span 8-game hitting streak, hitting .400 over that time. His multi-game hitting streak came to an end at 6 last night, but he did manage to get on base, and he did manage to score a run.
We see the arsenal of Adam Warren pitching on 6 days rest. The Yankees won 4 of his last 5 starts. However, the last start, he lost 3-2 at Tampa. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 homer, 7 K, 1 walk. That homer was to Steven Souza Jr. in the first inning.
I remember him.
Fastball's 91, slider 86, curveball 78, changeup 83. He pitches. He moves the fastball in and out. He'll throw any pitch in any count. And he has good stuff.
Denard steps in for his 99th at bat of the year. He's 32 for 98 in 23 games, and he's been on base in 21.
This just in. He's good.
And that one in on his hands, and a one-hopper out to DIDI GREGORIUS at short for the Yankees tonight.
Check out the Yankees D behind Adam Warren. Gardner, Young, Beltran on the outfield. Gregorius, Headley left side. Drew Teixeira right side. And Brian McCann behind the plate. Big shoes to fill.
Yes, sir. By the way, it's Bartolo Colon and Carlos Martinez up in New York tonight, where St. Louis plays the Mets again. The Nats and the Mets at 23-17, a dead heat at the top of the East. In there to Ian Desmond. Only one hitter in the lineup tonight has faced Adam Warren, and that's the man on deck. '86.
Little slider. He likes the changeup too.
Ian Desmond on a 5-game hitting streak. 8 for his last 23. And he'll show him 93-08.
When you haven't faced a guy before, the first at-bat is a recon mission. You're going up there to find a release point. You're seeing movement. You're figuring out what he's going to do to you. You like to see a lot of pitches the first time up against a guy you never faced. I mean, if you faced a guy before, go ahead and try to ambush him. So what? You know what he has. But when you haven't, do your homework, because the next time you come up, it might be bases loaded, 1 out. And the more pitches you see here, the better off you'll be the next time.
Well, he really turned that one over. No swing, says Chris Siegel, the rookie member of this umpiring crew.
So whatever happens here, Ian Desmond's seen slider, he's seen changeup, and he's seen fastball.
Got a fastball. Hits it hard to dead center field. See you later. That's where the big boys hit him, on one hop against the back wall. And the Nats are on the board with Desmond's 4th of the year.
And he's seen homer.
Love the location of Ian Desmond's last 2 home runs.
And maybe the timing of them too. Being a free agent and all next year.
Right center last night, almost dead center tonight. I mean, that ball was crushed. Desmond's 4th of the year, RBI total up to 12. Here's Escobar. That means Bryce Harper bats in this inning. And as I mentioned, Escobar, the only Nat who has seen Adam Warren. He's 2 for 5 against him. And this guy's hitting .410 over his last 15 games.
There goes a no-hitter. My bad. I always forget on home runs because I get so excited.
As long as you do it before the following at bat is not finished.
Yep. That's a new rule. And keep both feet in the broadcast booth.
Got a lot of rules around here.
Yeah.
That's ours. 2-0 with 1 out. Escobar 4th in the league with 47 hits. Suddenly a bit of a rough inning for Adam Warren. He goes 3-0 now. Bryce Harper just ran back into the dugout from the on-deck circle. We'll see him emerge again shortly.
We hope so.
I hope.
There it comes. I mean, I got worried there for a second.
4-pitch walk after the home run.
Yeah, maybe Warren's a little bit rattled after this. Off the bat of Ian Desmond, 3-2 fastball. And right when you're thinking nobody throws a 3-2 fastball anymore, Adam Warren does, and maybe that's why guys don't. That ball was touched. Look where this one lands. One hop off the garage door. That's like a wiffle ball.
Ian Desmond, that was his 95th career home run. Here's Bryce. 5th in hits, 1st in runs, on base percentage, homers and RBIs, and in the top 5 with a .336 batting average. And by the way, Escobar just added on to his .387 on base percentage.
I tell you, there's no panic in this ball club when they fall behind. They don't care. I mean, they like to play from ahead a couple nights, but it's like they're almost better when they're behind.
Nationals now hit 46 home runs. The Reds have hit 48, second most in the league. And Bryce way out ahead of an 85 off-speed pitch there.
Celebrate the season with American Standard All-Star Sales Event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities. Check out Bryce Harper. There's a lot of stats. That's why I'm going fast. First, tied for first.
Yeah,
third,
franchise.
and tied for third.
Henry Rodriguez, Mark Grudzielanek, and of course Adam Dunn.
Playing in Chicago, and Harry Carey could not say Grudzielanek to save his life. He was butchering it the whole series. Grudzielanek, Grudzielanek. Finally, he said, "Oh, forget it. I'm just going to call him the G-Man." So for the last game of the series, he called him the G-Man because he couldn't say his name.
Boy, oh boy. 1-2 to Harper. And Bryce just spits on 86 away. Infield to pull. Gregorius almost up the middle. And then again, we'll find out late in the count what Adam Warren has for Bryce Harper. Not sure what's going on with Marvin Hudson. He called time himself, it appeared. Harper up and in. 3-2.
Shocking. If you want to speed up the game and a Bryce Harper at bat, just start the count at 3-2. Forget the first 5 pitches because it's going to be 3-2 anyways.
He's walked 37 times.
Look at that. That's softball stuff.
Harper pulls it. Fair ball. Teixeira touches the bag. And then underneath the tag, Escobar gets in there. So 3 unassisted. Always a tougher play for a right-handed throwing first baseman.
So last night, the 10th walk-off of his career. 3-1 fastball. He was all in, got on top of it, hit it so hard it didn't really have time to tail. Foul. And here comes the bucket of filth. And for those of you that don't know, obviously the chocolate syrup's all the rage. But the bucket of filth was originally put there as just some water in the bottom of the 9th of a tie game in case there was a walk-off. It's developed into all kinds of stuff being put in the bucket of filth as the further the game goes. So maybe there was some coffee in there last night. There was some creamer packets opened up in there. You know, you throw a protein bar or a Gatorade bar in there for some projectilism when it hits the guy. So the longer the game goes, the filthier the bucket goes. And players being superstitious feel like whatever they put in there, the more creative they are, the more chance they're going to have a walk-off. So heaven forbid if a game goes to 15 innings, what's going to be in that thing.
Yeah.
And there it is, the bucket of filth.
I'd hate to have to see the EPA come into the ballpark and halt a game. 1-0 to Zimmerman, who sits safely in 18 of his last 21 games. That fastball inside, 2-0.
And by the way, with the chocolate syrup, the Nats are 16-4 since they started that. Remember, it started in Atlanta with Dan Uggla when he hit the 3-run homer. So chocolate syrup for everybody.
Slow on the breaking ball at 81, and that thing went diving down and away. Ryan was about a third of the way through that swing when he knew he'd been had. His next homer will be number 190. And that looked like a backup breaking ball that stayed up and in, 3-1. Nissan will track it.
Track that, Nissan. I think it was a slider that just didn't slide. And that would have been dangerous had it slid just a little bit over the plate.
Zimmerman, 5th in the National League with 31 runs batted in. And that's inside. Another walk, and this will be a long first inning for Adam Warren.
Let's go STG Inc. inside the numbers. Check this out. Look at this list. Most career walk-off home runs. Just Thome, Fox, Mantle, Musial, Robertson, Ruth, Pujols, Bonds, Jackson, Schmidt, Sosa, and this guy right there. Whoops. Close.
Dick Allen with 10. They used to call him Richie.
That was a big-time list.
Here's Wilson Ramos. First homer since the second week of April last night. And he is trying for a 19, now 20-game hitting streak if he can get one to fall in tonight or fly out of here. And that's quite a block by Brian McCann.
When you start looking at Thome with 13 and Fox and Mantle and all those high numbers, I mean, that just tells me there's a lot of dumb pitchers out there. I mean, who's going to pitch to these guys after about 6 or 7 of those so they can get 13 and 12? Yeah, show that again. I mean, look at the names, folks. Saw that today before the game, and I said, are you kidding me? That's where the big boys live. Clutch.
Ramos ahead in the count here. 2 on, 2 out. And the Nats are really not going after that slider much. Not a whole lot of deception going on right now. St. Louis, by the way, did get a run in the top of the first at New York. 2-0. And Ramos on a swing back changeup. Short right field, taken in by Stephen Drew. So the Nats make him throw a lot of pitches, but Adam Warren gave up a fastball home run to Ian Desmond way deep into the batter's eye in center field. 2-1 game. Second night in a row, 4th on the year. And we roll around to the top of the second. Playing umpire Marvin Hudson has talked to both managers here and some stadium personnel about something going on down there.
We had the audio of Jim Joyce talking to some stadium personnel. They walked over and talked to Joe Girardi, then Matt Williams. And the only thing I heard was blinding the pitcher. So maybe a laser pointer in the stand somewhere is all I could think of.
Here's Jim Joyce, the crew chief, 27 years on the job. And here's Stephen Drew.
I mean, if we're playing the Red Sox, it could be Big Papi and his jewelry.
Drew, Young, and Gregorius, 6, 7, 8. And that's a good breaking ball Freight Rail Works with the Yankees due-up situation. Top of the second, what they've done this month, and it's not a whole lot. Drew 188. Chris Young 2 for his last 21, and Gregorius 2 for his last 19. Zimmerman shows him the fastball up on 0-2.
It could be Madison Dan's tie clip, because that was pretty shiny today.
Wow. Good breaking ball, and then Zimmerman, such a great athlete, just came bouncing off the mound over to Ryan Zimmerman, and that's 4 straight. But you zeroed in on this last night about the bottom of the Yankees order, just not giving Ellsbury, Gardner, Beltran, Teixeira, and McCann, along with Headley, a whole lot of help. So here's Chris Young at 264. He did have an RBI hit and a run scored in 5 trips last night. Bouncer left side. Escobar on the charge. Time to set and whip it over there with the sidearm. 2 down. Next up, the 25-year-old shortstop DIDI Gregorius. Started his career with the Reds 3 years ago. 13 and 14 in Arizona. And the Yankees got him in a 3-team deal involving the Tigers and the D-backs.
2 for 19 on this road trip.
Batting average down to 204, and he's 2 for 5 career, although with a home run against Jordan Zimmerman. They'd love to get the number 8 man here and then have the pitcher with 0 major league at bats. Leading off the third. Not going to happen. Gregorius lifted over Ian Desmond into left center.
Oh, inside out swing right here. I think he got a fastball in the inner half. Right off the label, perfectly placed.
Adam Warren, primarily a reliever until this year. He made 2 starts 2 years ago, a start 3 years ago. But last year, 69 appearances out of the Yankee bullpen. Now he's a starter.
Pretty good hack right there for a guy that doesn't hit very often.
One of the greatest players ever to play at North Carolina. 32 and 4 in his career with the Tar Heels. Scott Bankhead, who pitched in the major leagues, the only other North Carolina player with more wins. So Zimmerman gets the strikeout, his second of the night, and he's retired 6 of the last 7 in a 2-1 game.
Live at the Nats' new Team store, it's now open. It's right across from the red porch near the center field gate. Features nearly 6,000 square feet of the hottest Nats gear. Clothing for the whole family. All new styles, wider selection to choose from, including the latest gear, Under Armour, Nike, Majestic, New Era, 47 brand names, and new expanded kids zone. Be sure to check out the new team store while enjoying an evening at the ballpark. Right out there under the garage in left center. It is awesome. Check it out.
Looks busy.
I want a creepy Bryce Harper mask.
Bottom of the second, Tyler Moore gets a start. 8 for 38 this year with a couple of homers, 7 RBIs. Tyler as a pinch hitter, 4 hits, and he's driven in 3 runs. And of course hit that dramatic home run in Phoenix last week. So it's Moore, Espinoza, and Jordan Zimmerman. Big crowd, and they're still coming in out there in left center. Breaking ball. Tyler Moore to center. Chris Young.
I was kind of wondering where Chris Young was going on that. He broke in like it was a blooper, and that ball was hit pretty well. I mean, he just hightails it in. Watch the first 3 steps. Whoop, oh, that ball's hit better than I thought. Plenty of time to recover.
Maybe that blast by Desmond is still in his mind that he could only watch fly way overhead. Yankees will put a shift on here for Danny Espinoza, who from the left side is hitting .235, .267 overall. On the edge, Chase Headley, the only man left side, just in front of the baseline between second and third. Espinoza sounded like a busted bat. And the Nats have their second base hit, and that's big with the pitcher coming up.
That allows Jordan Zimmerman to try to bunt Danny Espinoza over. I think it's so key to have a guy in the 8th spot that can run. It makes the pitcher's job so much more easy to get him over. Right off the handle, bat dies a hero. Danny Espinoza 1 for 1.
Next up, Jordan Zimmerman, who doubled off the left field wall in San Diego Friday. 2 hits on the year. Squaring around early, perfect. He really deadened it beautifully. And down to second base, the tying run with 2 outs.
You know, in the absence of Anthony Rendon, everybody's asking me, well, you know Escobar's done a really good job filling in for Rendon, hasn't he, FB? I say the guy who's done a good job filling in for Rendon is standing on second base right now. Danny Espinoza, maybe the most underrated story of this season in the first 2 months. Yeah, Escobar was going to play second anyways, so he was going to play. Espinoza's playing time has increased because of Rendon, and he's the guy that's really filled in nicely for Anthony.
Breaking ball, it gets away. And as McCann took a bit of a stumble, Danny Espinoza got himself to third base.
So when you're on third on a ball in the, or on second, excuse me, on a ball in the dirt, you have to make it kick one way or the other. When you're on first, if it's in the dirt, you can go because the throw is so long. When you're on second, it has to kick to one side or another because it's a short throw for the catcher. Nice read by Espinoza.
Yeah, we'll see if that takes away a pitch that Adam Warren might want to throw to Denard Span. Span a bouncer to short first time. Corner infielders in with 2 outs. That's a little pop fly over there, and DIDI Gregorius will catch up with it. Nats get a 1-out base hit by Espinoza. They've stranded 3 already. 2-1 New York. 2-3-0. The Nats 1-2-0. Top of the order for New York in the top of the third. And we go inside some numbers with STG. Numbers 1 and 2 hitters in the lineup. And of course for the Nats, that's primarily Span and Escobar this year. But the Yankees up there with Ellsbury, who's now hurt, and Brett Gardner. Joe Girardi's ball club has lost 6 of its last 7. Been a rough road trip. They're heading home to play Texas after this. Day off for the Nats tomorrow. The Phillies in for 3. And we'll see Max Scherzer on Friday night. Look at the drop on that curveball right to the inside edge.
29 pitches, 21 fastballs, 5 sliders, 3 curves. Just saw number 3.
And he goes high gas, overpowers the left-handed hitter. Span cruising, but it'll be Tyler Moore. And a little conversation after that for the first down.
Well, they're kind of looking at each other. Tyler Moore didn't know if Denard Span had it. Tyler Moore actually gave up on it, looked at his left and saw that Span had stopped and had to do a little dive there at the end. This got weird. Check it out. Span kind of went back for it. And right here he thinks, oh, Tyler Moore's got it. Moore thought Span had it.
Ooh.
They see that little hesitation step, stayed with it. Nice. Hey, that's a guy that doesn't play out there every day. It's a good play. No one said it had to be pretty. It's an out.
Here's Beltran, who's doubled to the right center gap, got the Yankees on their way to 2 runs. Zimmerman with 94. That ball appeared to be cutting in on the left-handed batter. This guy still has a quick bat. At the age of 38, he had a birthday April 24th.
Jordan Zimmerman's getting loose. Fastball's got a little hop on it that it didn't have in the first.
Beltran, did he check? No, he didn't. Jim Joyce punches him out from third base. 2 down, strikeout number 3 for Zimmerman.
Yeah, everything's sharp now. Fastball sharp, curveball sharp. Check it out on the Mercedes-Benz pitch track. Did he go? Yes, he did.
There's Mark Teixeira, bounced out to Ryan Zimmerman. First time up and a high strike.
Fastball sizzling all of a sudden.
And coming all the way over is Escobar. That's the third baseman throwing underhand to the first baseman. 8-pitch inning. Jordan Zimmerman rolling. Desmond Escobar Harper straight ahead.
Check out the first inning, Ian Desmond's 4th home run of the year. Look at the location. Right down Broadway in the middle of Times Square, and he knew exactly what to do with it. His 4th home run of the year, 3-2 pitch. And he hit it off the garage door. That's a home run in the big leagues. It's a home run in wiffle ball. Nicely done, Ian Desmond.
So our Honda do-up. Speaking of garages, there's a dream garage sales event.
Oh, look at you.
Ian Desmond might put a dent in it for you. And what they've done this month. Desmond warming things up. He has a 6-game hitting streak now. 9 for 24. Escobar in between, and we know all about Bryce. Fastball up at 91. Couldn't get to it. First inning, 27 pitches for Adam Warren. He got through the second to 4 hitters on only 7 pitches. And a 1-1. That was a changeup sitting upstairs. 84 slipping by Desmond. That's right down the middle with a slider. First strikeout for Adam Warren.
When the Nats win, everyone wins all season long. When the Nats win and score 7 or more runs, you get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code NATS50. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, official pizza of your Washington Nationals.
Now Escobar and Harper the next two. Unell drew the walk after the Desmond homer. That ball chopped off of his foot. Zimmerman would walk with 2 outs, but Warren got Wilson Ramos to pop up. That's a pretty good take. Right hand up off the bat as if he was calling a halt to the proceedings. 1-1. Just got the edge.
Doing a nice job of mixing it up, throwing the slider changeup combination. His last start, Warren only threw the fastball 40% of the time, so there's a good chance if you're a Nats hitter tonight, you're going to get a lot of off speed.
It's a good take on 85. Now Span came in 370 on base percentage. Escobar 387. Harper a ridiculous 474. Tough top of half of the lineup to pitch to.
But these are the kind of at-bats that whoever pitches against this ball club is seeing right now, whether it ends up in a hit or not. You know, even Ian Desmond's first at-bat went 3-2, hit the home run. Escobar walked his first time, fouling off a couple of pitches, going deep into counts. And you really have to work to get through this lineup the way it's designed right now. They're grinding.
2-2, and that's right in there. He ran 93 to the inside corner. 2 Ks in a row.
Well, if you missed it last night, first inning, Bryce Harper with number 15. And it came on an off-speed pitch from Nathan Eovaldi. Barely got out of here to right center field.
Inside the numbers with STG, Nats have 10 hitters with 10 RBIs or more. Ian Desmond able to break that threshold last night. You know, Bryce was running hard out of the box there. He wasn't sure he got it. Going down to get it like that, and that thing just had another gear.
Let's see if this is down. I thought it was. Yeah.
Shift is on. And Marvin Hudson hearing about it from the Nats dugout.
Matt Williams is telling it's down.
You know, they can see high-low from over there. And out is Matt Williams. Or was it Harper?
Well, if it's Bryce Harper, that's not good.
Oh, man. Bryce Harper, it appears, has been
tossed.
It's
something about getting in the box. This is about getting in the batter's box. He told Bryce to get in the batter's box, and he didn't, and he threw him out. He said, you can't throw him out for that. And look, read Matt Williams' lips. He's talking about the batter's box. Bryce Harper just got thrown out because he didn't get in the batter's box. I'd blow a gasket, too, if I was Matt Williams.
This is taking the whole speeded up thing a little too far, FP, after a controversial pitch.
You can't throw him out for not getting in the expletive box. I just read exactly what he said. And if that's the case, if Marvin Hudson threw Bryce Harper out of the game for not getting in the batter's box, that's just ridiculous. All these fans came here to watch Bryce Harper play, and you're going to throw him out because he's not in the box? I can understand if he said something to you.
Matt Williams getting his money's worth here.
Somebody's got to hit.
Well, you would figure Michael A. Taylor.
I mean, any hitter in the big leagues that gets thrown out of a game for not getting in the batter's box is ridiculous. I don't care who it is. But when it's Bryce Harper and there's nearly 40,000 people in the stands that came here to watch this guy play today, and you throw him out for not being in the box, has nothing to do with what he said, that's ludicrous. Sorry.
Agreed.
Let's see it all again. I got to take this in. The pitch is down. So what? It's strike one. A little chirping from the dugout. That happens all the time. Bryce, little body language. Doesn't say a word. He's telling me to get in the batter's box. He said he was standing right there. This is unbelievable. Marvin Hudson must have had a rough day before he got to the yard.
Speeding up the game taken to the extreme by the umpire. No balls, one strike to Michael A. Taylor now. And that's a curveball in there. Randy Norton now running the ball club. Michael Taylor will go to the outfield. In there. Adam Warren strikes out the side into the middle innings now. The Nats without Harper down by a run.
Out of the game for not getting back in the batter's box. Matt Williams thrown out for arguing. And we're going to show you what happened again, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around this thing. So the pitch was low. It was strike one. There's some chirping from the dugout, which happens all the time with home plate umpires. And see there, Matt Williams is chirping, saying the ball is down. Bryce Harper walks out of the batter's box.
And Bryce had gone into the box when first told to go there.
He said he was standing right there. Now he gets thrown out of the game. He was showing him where he was standing until Marvin Hudson left to go talk to Matt Williams. So basically, Bryce Harper was baited right there. And whether it's Bryce Harper, whether it's Mark Teixeira, Carlos Beltran, Brett Gardner, that's just, I can't believe it. And we had the commissioner sitting between you and I on opening day, and I asked him a question on the air. I said, with this new 2 feet in the batter's box.
And that's a base hit against a shift by Brian McCann.
Do you remember what I asked him?
Yeah.
I said, conceivably then, a guy could get thrown out of a game because he doesn't have 2 feet in the batter's box by the, if you read the rule the way it's printed out. And he said, no, they'll use common sense. That'll never happen, FP. Well, guess what? It just happened.
And I would imagine there are some phone lines burning in New York City right now. If not, there should be. So here's Chase Headley.
We can't wait to get to the ballpark right now and watch Bryce Harper play. Imagine how these fans that paid this kind of money to come to a baseball game feel. It's ridiculous. All right, I'll stop.
Strike two. Well, Bryce kicked out last week because a home plate umpire would not ask for help on a check swing. And it appeared to me when we replayed the whole sequence that when Marvin Hudson first told Bryce to get back in there, he did. Well, then as the arguing continued from the dugout, Bryce did walk out of there. And that's a great slider by Jordan Zimmerman to strike out Chase Headley. His 4th K of the night, 1 out here in the 4th. Stephen Drew and Chris Young, the next two. Well, we saw it with replay last year. Things that were never anticipated would happen did. And whenever you have rules changes and revolutionary new things that come into the ball game, somewhere along the line with so many games played every night, situations are going to come up that were not anticipated. 1 ball, 1 strike. And this one hit pretty well out to left center. Tyler Moore now waiting for it. And he has it for the 2nd out. That'll bring in Chris Young. Young, a bouncing ball to Escobar first time. Jordan Zimmerman, by the way, finding his groove. 2 hits since the 1st inning, one of them a bunt by McCann here. '87, just a bit outside.
Pretty good pitch.
And hit pretty sharply in Desmond. Scoops to Espinosa. And Jordan Zimmerman's on a roll. It'll be Ryan Zimmerman, Ramos and Moore ahead. And a controversial start to this one.
Bottom four at Nationals Park. Wilson Ramos due up second this half inning. Ramos carries in a 19-game hitting streak into today's game, and Matt Williams was asked earlier today what he finds most impressive about Ramos during this hitting streak and the fact that he's carried this hitting streak this long. Williams said it's that Ramos has done all this damage offensively while dealing with the physical toll that comes with being a catcher. Williams noted that a couple days ago Ramos showed up to the ballpark with a swollen hand, but he was ready to play. A 19-game hitting streak is tough for any player to accomplish, obviously, but Williams noted that it's even tougher for a catcher, and he's been really impressed by what Ramos has been able to do offensively.
Bottom of the fourth inning, Ryan Zimmerman, that's on the edge. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons, and that's Dan with a Coons.com sideline report. Ryan drew a walk first time up. 14th base on balls this year. And Adam Warren's thrown a number of sliders right down the middle lately. Then it goes fastball, and Zimmerman caught by surprise. 4 called strikeouts in a row. Desmond, Escobar, Harper, and Zimmerman. Actually, Taylor after Harper.
That's a fastball in. McCann setting up off the plate. And he got the call, hit the target.
Wilson Ramos pop up to second base first time up. Breaking ball up and a 2-hopper to DiDi Gregorius.
Yeah, Warren doing a nice job of pitching right now. Hard to sit on something. He's mixing it up nice. The changeup, curveball, slider combination. Not really showing a lot of fastballs. Maybe late in the count, like he just did to Zimmerman.
Tyler Moore. Cutting that thing at 88. Fly ball to center. First time up.
And as a reliever, Warren could hit 95 or sit at 95, but as starter, he's more 91, occasional 94. That's a different story. You have to pace yourself a little bit.
Pretty late break on that slider, and a very good take by Tyler Moore. .79 dropping straight down.
Just pitching backwards, off speed and fastball counts, fastball and off speed counts. It's Tyler Moore all in on 2-1 fastball, gets the hook.
There's that fastball, and Tyler hits it pretty well the other way. Not a play.
You know, when you're facing guys that pitch backwards, like I just explained, they throw off speed and fastball counts, fastball and off speed counts. It's almost easier to hit when you have 2 strikes, because there's no real advantage to working the count to a 3-1 count or a 2-0 count, because you're not going to get a fastball. And when you have 2 strikes, you're looking for a fastball, but adjusting to everything else. Kind of more reactive when you have 2 strikes.
Tyler Moore scoops one to left and out of here. He scooped it, and then it skipped for a home run. Tie game. 2 more homers for the Nats tonight, and 47 on the year.
Exactly what I'm just talking about. 2-1 pitch, he takes a big swing at a curveball because he thinks he's getting a fastball, but with 2 strikes he spreads out, tries to put the ball in play, drops the barrel on the baseball, and rides one out of here to tie this one up. 6th home run of the year for Tyler Moore. 3rd home run, excuse me.
And the 21st of his career. There's the fastball in there to Danny Espinosa. Boy, it sure is nice when you've got 7 and 8 hitters who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. I mean, Warren was cruising here.
But it was about the pitch before that. He got a nasty fastball in the outer half, fouled it off, bought himself another chance, and tied the game up. Great at bat.
Espinosa breaks his 2nd bat of the night, but the Nats equalize in the bottom of the 4th inning with Tyler Moore, his 9th hit of the year. And on 9 hits, he's now driven in 8 runs.
Friday, first game of the weekend set against the Phillies. Guess what? It's National Jersey Day, Friday, May 22nd. Wear your Nats jersey and show your pride as the Nats take on the Phils. Need a Nats jersey? We showed you where the new team store is, right out in left center. Get yourself one. Tyler Moore tying it up at 2. as we head to the top of the 5th. Look at the 2-strike approach right here. No stride, just kind of drops the barrel on the ball, short stride I should say, and after fouling off a tough pitch, he gets one closer to him and just gets it out of here to tie this one up. Way to go, Tyler Moore.
Top of the 5th inning, Gregorius, Warren, and Gardner, 8, 9, and 1 for the Yankees. So their first inning lead gone. And then Taylor tracking this one. Michael A. in right field now for Bryce Harper. One quick out. And by the way, Jordan Zimmermann, after a bit of a rough first inning, has found a way to get through 4, averaging 12 pitches per inning. He'll be leading off in the 5th, and he pitches to his counterpart right here. He struck out Warren swinging 3 innings ago. It's on the edge for a strike. Inside out swing, and Zimmerman's got it. Fair ball when he caught it. And Ryan Zimmerman continues to shine, I guess in this case, first base and beyond.
Serious hops by the Nats first baseman right here. Warren with a little inside out swing. Ryan Zimmerman, not a problem. Little extension with that tiny first baseman glove he has. Nice play. Thing is so small, it just looks freakishly small to me. But whatever works, right?
Just got another spit shine in there. That thing's magic, just like his third base glove was. Here's Brett Gardner, 1 for 2. And last time up, he hit that fly ball that Tyler Moore made the sliding catch on. Jordan Zimmermann really hitting his spots. 0-2 in a hurry.
After the first, really settling down, getting into that rhythm, throwing the ball through Wilson Ramos. A lot of late life on the heater. Velocity's gone up a notch from 92 to 94.
And that's an attention getter on 0-2.
It's a good 0-2 pitch. Up and in. Old time baseball.
And he drops the breaking ball on him. Tony Pena wants nothing to do with that. Gardner, 31 years of age now. He's had a nice career with the Yankees. First came up in 08. Pitch number 57, well off the plate.
There's a lot of angry umpires dressed in red tonight in the stands.
That takes care of the 5th inning. Second time through, the Yankees go 1 for 9 against Jordan Zimmermann, and he's retired 10 of the last 11 New York hitters. Ryan Zimmerman made a very fine play. How about that athletic ability? Jordan will lead off, bottom 5.
Reminders, you enjoy a cold one. Look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game. That's brought to you by Miller Lite.
Beautiful evening at the ballpark. 70 at game time. Breeze makes it feel a little cooler. For the Achiever and you, PNC Bank with our minor league report. It's a rehab report on Casey Jansen. 3 hitters, 3 grounders, 12 pitches for Harrisburg against Binghamton today. So 6 ball games so far. And I think Matt Williams said the other day the Nats usually like to have their guys get about 7 innings or so before they think about bringing them back to the big league level. Jordan Zimmerman, perfect sacrifice first time. Takes a breaking ball out to short for DIDI Gregorius, second time. Top of the order now, Span and Desmond. Geico President's Race a few minutes ago.
What we got?
It was a tight one.
I was still rattled from Bryce getting ejected. I didn't watch it.
I mean, Tom Jefferson hasn't won a race all year, and they make him start 5th. The pace slowing considerably. And then it was a fight down the stretch, and by a boiler. It's Bill.
It's always by a boiler where it's Bill. Has to be.
Good fastball to Span. Denard. 2 balls to short, 1 on the ground. So he's had 100 official at bats now, hitting .320. Able to ID the off speed. 1-1. St. Louis has picked up 2 more runs at New York. The Mets are down by 3, 4th inning.
So 2-1. You're thinking fastball right here, right? All in. I mean, it's hard for a hitter to get off a fastball and look for something else when you're ahead in the count. Let's see what he does. Maybe he challenges Denard, leadoff guy. Hasn't thrown too many fastballs behind in the count so far.
93, and Span turns it around. And that's a 9-game hitting streak for Denard Span. That had a nice sound to it.
Well, he got a fastball that was up, and he got on top of it. Nice swing by Denard Span. Foot down early. Head still. Drop of the barrel. Got the pitch he was looking for. And let's see if he's thinking about running here. He's been a little more frisky lately on the bases.
Yeah, 3 for 3 now. Here's Ian Desmond, homer. Out to center. And now Ian Desmond takes a couple, and it's 2-0.
So he hit a home run on a fastball, 3-2 fastball his first time up. Does he get one here?
Well, you know what Ian's betting on?
Strike.
He gets the heater, but it's way inside. 3-0.
.30 was a good count to the Nats last night. Wilson Ramos got a 3-0 green light, tied it up at 6. Hit a tater.
And Desmond on 3-0 will pop it up. 2 outs. Our next 5, home and away. Phillies are in for the weekend. WUSA 9 will join us Sunday afternoon, and then again for a 2 o'clock game at Wrigley Field on Monday. The Nats and the Cubs for 3 before it's on to Cincinnati for 3.
Off day tomorrow. What are you doing, Kirk?
Trying to get used to the Eastern time zone still, I think.
I know, that's killing me.
It's been a little weird.
I'll be at Big Stick right down the street with all my favorite Nats fans. If you want to come over and join me, we're going to have a little get-together tomorrow around 6.
You buying?
We're going to have a little get-together
Crickets?
tomorrow around 6.
Crickets?
You can watch the moths fly out of my wallet.
I heard they were pterodactyls.
No, right down Half Street here.
Okay. Escobar for 1 with a walk.
Have a little fun on an off day.
Wow. Brian McCann, quite a pick and a throw, and Teixeira tries to sell it. And with Escobar at the plate, that's one Joe Girardi is going to take a good look at.
It's so funny now how players don't even go to argue with umpires on close plays. You know, maybe when your feet aren't in the box, but on close plays, they just look right to their manager and say, no, 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 I got him. Watch Teixeira's reaction. Does Span get in here? And he might have got him on the forearm. Tough to tell. That was a pretty good look. Kind of be surprised if Girardi doesn't challenge this.
Is there a time limit on how long a manager can take to make his decision with his staff?
I just think he has to have 2 feet in the dugout.
Here he comes. This crowd is not in a real good mood right now. And we'll see what happens. I think it was obvious Denard Span was not at the bag when Teixeira swiped it, but did he get Denard?
Well, I know why it's close at first. Denard was thinking there's no way McCann picks this and I'm going to second. So he kind of got caught in no man's land. And does he tag him on the forearm there? And is it definitive? Remember, the call was safe, so it has to be overwhelming evidence.
Runners out.
And I guess it was. That was quick.
Denard Span picked off of first base on a fantastic play by Brian McCann on a pitch in the dirt. It's on to the 6th inning in a 2-2 game.
Time for a Cox game summary. Cox delivering life's most important connections, all tied at 2. As we head to the top of the 6th, the big story. Bryce Harper ejected from the game along with his skipper Matt Williams in the 3rd inning for not having both feet in the batter's box, if you missed it.
Yeah, during an argument between the umpire and Matt Williams. Top of the 6th, Beltran. RBI double, swinging strikeout. Jordan Zimmerman, 58 pitches in 5 innings. And no way to catch up with that. 1 bunt hit for the Yankees since the second, 2 hits overall since the first 2 men of the game reached. Beltran up the middle. Desmond to his left. He was shaded that way. Knew he had time to take a couple of hops and let it fly. That's 11 of 12 retired.
Well, I like the way he got his feet underneath him right there. He went a long way to his left to get that ball. Beltran doesn't run as good as he used to. Desmond knew that, so he took time. And for you younger players, I talk about it all the time. Most errors are made with your feet. When your feet aren't underneath you, and you see Desmond with a couple of shuffles right there, getting his feet underneath him and making a nice throw.
Yankees box Gardner, Beltran, single, double, McCann sac fly for their 2-run first inning. Only 2 hits since. This ball popped up by Mark Teixeira out of play.
Good hustle by Desmond. He went a long way for that. He's got his glove. He's got a ball. Bring your glove to the yard. Nice.
Green card. Everything's fine.
He just that guy gave him a green card. I don't know what that means. Does that mean he's out of the game too?
I think that means all is well. Look at that pick. And Zimmerman at the other end digging it out. Ian Desmond showing off the backhand side and the arm to go with it.
Putting on a show tonight. On offense with a homer. On defense going up the middle, going to his left, going to his right. Watch this one, little backhand play. Tough hop there at the end. Missed that real time. Watch this tricky hop. Gives with it nice. Stands up. Show the hose. Nicely done. Big arm right there, folks.
A little bit outside there to Brian McCann. Bunt base hit last time. McCann a sac fly before that bunt base hit.
I'm being told the green card means the guy's okay.
Yeah.
Yellow card's a warning. Red card, he's out of here. Right?
Yeah, just like RFK when the United play.
Yep.
They always behave themselves, though. That's a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs to Brian McCann, who's 3 for 12 career against Jordan Zimmerman. He'll take his chances with Chase Headley. Zimmerman first walk tonight. Headley 2 strikeouts swinging. Headley 3 for 21 career against the Nats right-hander. Seeking his 4th win of the year. Took a little bit off and missed. Well, the Mets are getting pounded now, 7-0 at home this evening. That's a base hit. McCann stopping at second. And it'll be another left-handed batter, Stephen Drew, coming in.
Chase Headley using that hole created by the 2-out walk. And you see the location of the pitch. Ramos wanted it outside, kind of pulled it across the plate. And Headley was ready for it. First and second, 2 outs.
Stephen Drew 0 for 2 tonight. Suddenly a big spot in this ball game. The Nats have 3, 4, 5 coming up in the 6th. And Jordan having a hard time getting his secondary pitches for strikes right now.
Yeah, the curve was sharp a couple innings ago. Now kind of lost his release point. The arm's dragging, getting around it. He's kind of rolling in there. If you remember 2 innings ago, it was electric.
2-0 here. Breeze blowing in from left. Ballpark just about full again tonight. 37,355 here last night. And Drew hooks one into the right field corner. Fortunately for the Nats, about 10 or 15 feet foul. Put a charge in that one. Drew's hit 4 home runs this year.
Pitch number 76 coming. 51 strikes
with 58.
24 balls.
Got him. There's an off-speed pitch.
There's a sharp curve. Nice
that
pitch.
worked beautifully. Strikeout number 6. Yankees strand 2. They've left 4. And as mentioned, 3, 4, 5 ahead for Washington.
T-Mobile game changer. Oh, okay, let's go back to this. Strike one, chirping from the dugout happens. Marvin Hudson told Bryce Harper to get back in the box. He was telling him I was just in the box, but you're yelling at my manager, so I don't know where I should be. Then Bryce showed him where he was standing. He got thrown out. Then the skipper comes out to stick up for Bryce and did a nice job, by the way. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around this whole thing. And Randy Norris, the skipper. Michael Taylor in for Bryce Harper. And Marvin Hudson still umpiring.
Bottom of the 6th. Escobar at the plate when Span was picked off first on that great play by Brian McCann, who picked a pitch on a hop and threw to Teixeira for the sweep tag. And a ball ripped to the left side. Good stop, Chase Headley. Dan, what more do you have on the Harper situation?
I can tell you that from down here at field level, the Nats felt that Marvin Hudson was baiting Bryce Harper after Harper's initial reaction to the low strike call. That's what upset those here in the first base side dugout and led to Hudson engaging with Matt Williams and the Nats coaches. Now, it might also be worth noting that Hudson and Harper do have a bit of a history. Hudson ejected Harper after a close check swing call that ended a 2013 game against the Braves. Not the first time he's tossed Bryce Harper.
Okay. Well, Michael A. Taylor's in the flow of the game now. He was rushed up to hit 3 innings ago. So here's his second at bat. He inherited an 0-1 count in that AB, and that's the count right now.
Well, the bottom line with the rhubarb is that it's a 2-2 game. You got to find a way to win. I mean, there's going to be a lot of discussion after the game about the whole thing and what happened. I would love to hear Marvin Hudson's take on it. But you got to have to find a way to win a ball game.
Well, Michael A. Taylor is seeing nothing but sliders here. Nats box. Homer by Desmond. 1 out in the first inning. Second man up. And then with 2 outs in the fourth, a wall scraper by Tyler Moore that hit the top of the left field wall and skipped up into the seats. 4 straight breaking balls to Taylor. 2-2.
Yo, Bryce is such a lightning rod. Just kind of thinking on the fly. Yeah, I played with Barry Bonds, and I thought he was the biggest lightning rod. Matt Williams played with Barry Bonds. He'd probably agree with me, but it seems like everything Bryce does just blows up, whatever it is. I mean, he didn't do anything tonight, and he got ejected.
And Taylor hits this ball pretty well out to right center. And drifting with it, short of the track, Chris Young. 2 outs.
What do we got? Join the Nats Saturday, May 23rd. They host Women in the Military Day as part of this season's Patriotic Series that's presented by the SAIC. Honor our military women while enjoying an exciting matchup. Nats Phillies, 4:05 start. The SAIC designated charity will be Women in Military Service for America Memorial Foundation. Go to nationals.com to purchase your tickets right now. Looking forward to that on Saturday, 4:05.
First pitch slider to Ryan Zimmerman. He has walked and struck out looking. And that ball cracked hard to the left side. Headley a fine stop, low throw, and a great pick by Mark Teixeira, sweeping with the backhand. Some corner defense by the Yankees in the bottom of the 6th. Good ball game. Interleague action. Yeah. He's here. 2-2 ball game. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Washington Nationals. top 7. Yeah, some pitchers with paint tonight.
It's a Bryce Harper fan. Nats fans never miss a game update, behind the scenes, moment, or exclusive contest. Follow @Masson Nationals on Twitter for all the buzz. Again, that's @Masson Nationals on Twitter. I had a nice time today on @Masson Nationals, talking to fans, answering questions. It was fun. Had a good time.
Top 7, Chris Young. And a high pop up to center. Denard Span for the first out.
One of the questions I was asked was, what are some of Bob's quirks that we don't know about?
Boy, that must have been a lively
You'll have to
session.
actually go to the @Masson Nationals to see my answer. Okay. I don't know if it's on air appropriate.
Is that like your longest answer of the session? They could have just gotten a pair of binoculars to see that one. I don't know if can they see it? Anybody see us?
One was Mr. Met is to FP as blank is to Bob Carpenter, and my answer was a tie that was made after 1995.
Close. You might be a little. You may not be far back enough, actually. I actually got 3 new ties in Phoenix last week.
Did.
I will have you know.
Skinny ties,
and
too.
they all have seen the air on Masson since.
I've noticed.
You told me to tighten it up.
Tighten it up. Let's go.
This is tough. Desmond ranges, releases, a bounce, safe at first. DIDI Gregorius running quickly, and he got himself a base hit.
Hold on.
Maybe.
Saw Randy Knorr take a step down in the dugout, pretty close at first. Ryan Zimmerman trying to cheat with that scoop and sell the call. Great play by Ian Desmond. He's having a nice night at shortstop, folks. Showing the range off, showing the arm off. Let's see. What do you got? This will show it. Exmo never lies. It's like Abe Lincoln. Ooh.
That's a lot closer than I thought it was as it happened. And they're coming. The Nats think they have a case here for the second out of the inning.
So it has to be in the back of the glove before Gregorius' foot hits the bag. And if we see that last Exmo shot, whenever we get a chance, if we can stop it when the ball is in Ryan's glove, this should tell the story. Right, man, one more click. I see you can't tell where his foot is, can you? Ooh. Yeah, go back. So it's right when it's in the back of the glove. Right. One more click. Right there. Is his foot on the bag? Can't tell, right?
No.
But that's where the call's going to be made. What a play by Desmond to make it that close with a good runner. You can hear the crowd, kind of a mixed reaction. They're showing it on the scoreboard.
They know. I mean, they just want to erupt, but they're a little unsure.
And usually, when there's a mixed reaction, it doesn't get overturned. We'll see.
First base umpire Chris Siegel on the left. And the crew chief Jim Joyce on the right. They're taking a good hard look at this one. I tell you, that play by McCann inning and a half ago, that thing didn't take any time at all once the challenge was issued.
Well, check out this angle. It's not Exmo, but it might give you an idea where the foot is and the ball. I don't think that's going to get overturned. Now, it just has to be overwhelming. Remember, the initial call was safe. So to overturn it, it's got to be overwhelming evidence in the other direction.
They call him out.
Like I said, he is so out.
How about that?
I could not work in New York. I'm about 1 for 20 this year.
Well, the Nats are now 3 for 6.
Good challenge.
Bases empty, 2 outs with the pitcher coming up. Instead of Warren a chance to bunt Gregorius to second base on the second out. How about that?
I didn't think there was enough evidence to overturn it. Nats will take it. Maybe a different look in New York showed it was obvious. How weird is that? Ian Desmond just went from not making plays of the week to making plays of the week based on the review. What a play.
Now no balls, 2 strikes. This is the 3rd time around the Yankees batting order for Jordan Zimmerman. He's given up 1 hit the 2nd time around and 1 hit this 3rd time around. And Jordan, in kind of the odd stat department, in night games came in with an ERA this year of 1.97, 7th best of any pitcher in the league. So under the lights, a little tougher to pick up and do something against. Sun was still out when the Yankees got their 2 runs. A couple of sliders outside, 2-2.
Maybe he's part vampire.
There's a lot of those in Wisconsin. 2-2. Warren getting some hacks in his ABs tonight.
He is. He's figuring, you know what? Interleague play. I used to be a reliever. Now I'm a starter. I'm going to get my money's worth.
Two again. Ground ball out to short. Ian Desmond takes care of the Yankees in the top of the 7th with Jordan Zimmerman. Big crowd, cool night, and a really good ball game. It's our Hyundai 7th inning stretch. The Nats have Ramos, Moore, and Espinosa ahead, and a well-played 2-2 game. Six, 7, 8 for the Nats. The Mazda do-up and Wilson Ramos this month with that hitting streak hitting over 350. Tyler Moore, homer in Phoenix, homer in D.C. tonight, and Danny Espinosa came into this game hitting 319 over his last 20 ball games. Ramos hitting streak on the line. Low-scoring game. Sometimes at the bottom of the order you don't get your 4 ABs. Let's see what he does here in number 3. He's 27 for 76 during the hitting streak.
Both starters tonight have seemed to get stronger as this game has gotten deeper.
Runs at 93 to the outside edge. 83rd pitch of the night for Adam Warren and his 50th strike.
Moving the fastball around, mixing in the off speed and fastball counts. Good changeup working.
That was a big hook. Chase Headley can't handle that hop, and the Nats will get a runner. Not an easy play. How will they score it?
19-game hitting streak on the line. Does Wilson Ramos get some home cooking right here? Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Let's go with Tyler Moore tonight. Back to the 4th inning. 2-strike count. Fouled off a nasty fastball in the outer half down the right field line to get that off-speed pitch and ride her out of here for his 3rd home run of the year. and tied this one up. How clutch has Tyler Moore been this year?
Real lately.
They haven't given a decision yet, right?
Nope. And that ball had a lot of top spin on it. Chase Headley has made 8 errors this year, but that shouldn't figure into the decision.
6 throwing of those 8.
Yeah.
And he almost threw one away last inning.
Well, we saw what a good glove he had last inning, and they still haven't posted hit or error on the board. Left-hander Justin Wilson. One of 3 lefties out of their bullpen that Bryce Harper saw last night. He got all 3 of them. There might be a little debate going on in the press box. That's up and in. Tyler spun out of there.
Well, they just made a decision. I was going to ask you at home what you thought, but it's already on the board.
And
I mean, he kind of played it into. I mean, they gave it an error. So the hitting streak on hold for Wilson Ramos. More important thing is the go-ahead runs aboard here in the 7th.
With nobody out. Tyler Moore, home run last time up. That was 3 innings ago. The Nats 1 hit since, the span base hit, but he was picked off first by the catcher. 2-0 count here. Tyler Moore takes the fastball that comes running back at 92.
That equals Headley's total errors for last year. He made 9 in 135 games. He's made 9 in 40 games this year.
And he won a Gold Glove 3 years ago at third base for the Padres.
I'm told the throwing is the real problem, and he's
front door slider stayed inside.
Got a 2-1 curveball last time from Warren. See what he does this time. Slider that didn't slide.
Three-2. And Tyler Moore will take the walk. Spun around by that one. An error, a base on balls, and a big spot for Danny Espinosa.
Sunday, May 24th, it's the Nats and the Phillies. It's a 1:35 start. Be one of the first 10,000 fans to receive the 10th anniversary poster presented by the Peanuts. Visit Nationals.com to purchase your tickets today. And Dan Uggla moves in the on-deck circle. And you're wondering about Danny Espinosa bunting here with runners on first and second. Nobody out.
That's Larry Rothschild, the Yankees pitching coach. Sure is nice to have a guy who can handle the bat, switch hitter with great speed in this spot right here. And he's going to have to lay down a pretty good bunt to get Wilson Ramos to third base.
Well, that's why you have to think about bunting right here based on the speed of Ramos. It has to be a nice soft bunt right toward Chase Headley. And maybe you make him want to field the ball after he just made an error. I don't know. A lot of managers bunt right here. A lot of managers swing away. And we'll see what happens. See what Randy Knorr puts on. Or maybe Matt Williams down in the tunnel somewhere.
Espinosa 1 for 2 tonight. Headley on the grass at third. Teixeira on the grass at first. Espinosa squares. It's in the air, and Chase Headley makes a diving catch in foul ground. Not a good bunt and a very good play to cap it off.
Well, even if it's on the ground, it's too hard. And I know he's trying to bunt it to Headley right there, but you see him kind of redirect, dive and play. Nice play by the Yankees third baseman. Keeps runners at first and second, 1 out.
Jordan Zimmerman done for the night after 7 outstanding innings. 2 runs on just 5 hits. As Dan Uggla hits for him with a chance to get Jordan in line for the W. Uggla as a pinch hitter, 1 for 3. Got a slider, popped it up. Long way for everybody on this one, and Beltran pulled up short. It appeared he had the best shot at it. Uggla lives to swing again.
That was kind of weird at the end, wasn't it? Ball tailing away from Beltran, and it looked like he had a beat on this, and he just pulls up. I thought he had this in his back pocket, and he just kind of stopped. I don't know if he thought the fence was coming. Maybe he felt the warning track. I don't know, but if he goes into a slide right there or just keeps running, it looked like he might have had a chance.
Change-up had Uggla out ahead. Dan thought he was jumping on a fastball out toward the outer edge. Fastball up. Uggla thought about that for an instant.
So he's at his best when he's thinking right center with 2 strikes. We've seen him do it.
Not fooled by the changeup that time, and he battles back even. What a big sequence for the Nats here in the 7th. Trying to grab first place all alone tonight. Nissan tracks the entire AB, everything away.
See how long McCann thought about putting fingers down right there? He gave Warren the fist for a good 3-4 seconds before he even put down 1 finger in the sequence.
Uggla takes ball 3.
Former teammates in Atlanta, he probably has a pretty good idea what he wants to do to Uggla. And needless to say, big pitch coming, and I wonder if they're going to go no sign right here. Just go out and talk to him. Big part of this ball game. You got a catcher on second base that knows sequences, so maybe they just talked it over. And maybe there's no sign. Let's see if he puts down a sign.
3-2 with 1 out and 2 men aboard. Denard Span on deck. This could be it for Warren right here.
I do.
That pitch was inside, probably ball 4. Uggla started, hit his bat.
Well, he starts to swing because he reads the rotation. He knows it's a slider, and he thinks it's coming back, and it just backs up on him, right onto his bat.
That's up and in. The bases are loaded.
Good at bat. That's $50 for every Nationals walk. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to Girls on the Run DC. The Nats have drawn 141 walks, $7,050. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle.
And that's it for Adam Warren. After 6 1/3, an error and a pair of walks, and it'll be a lefty-lefty matchup with Justin Wilson on the way. This call to the bullpen packaged by the UPS store. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics. in the lefty-lefty matchups. .95, can't get it.
I remember the fastball last night at times was 98 miles an hour. It's more of a hard curveball in the mid-80s. Doesn't have a lot of tilt to it.
Ramos at third. Take a pretty deep fly ball to get him home. Moore at second. And that is just inside. Pretty good 0-1 pitch. So not exactly the Nats burners on the bases here in the 7th inning, but guys able to get on at the bottom of the order.
Gardner can throw pretty well. Beltran doesn't throw like he used to. You can run on him, and Chris Young in center field, you can run on him as well. Gardner probably has the best arm of all three.
And Brian McCann has had some kind of defensive series behind the plate. Well, we mentioned the Span success. 2 for 2 against this left-hander Wilson. Tie ball game, bottom of the 7. Nats have never led tonight. Span, high bouncer, base hit. Now the Nats have the lead. It's 3-2 on a perfectly placed bouncing ball. And another multi-hit game for Denard Span, his 7th in his last 8 games.
How clutch is Denard Span? I mean, you're thinking the other way the whole at bat. You get something out over the plate, and you look where Gregorius was playing right there. He was playing in between. If the ball's hit hard to him, he's going to try to turn a double play up the middle. If it's hit soft, he's coming home. And what really happened is Gregorius was in no man's land. It opened the 5.5 hole, and Denard Span took advantage.
Ian Desmond facing Wilson, career for the second time, 0 for 1. So how about Denard Span? 3 for 3 career against the left-hander Wilson, and the line moving 90 feet at a time right now.
As a middle infielder, I used to hate that defense because you're caught in between. And
Desmond takes ball 2.
It's almost like you're sitting on a changeup and you get a fastball. Look at where Gregorius is playing. Look how shallow he is. He's 2 steps off the grass. And in between means if the ball's hit hard right at him, he's going to turn a 6-4-3 double play. If it's hit softly, he's going to throw it to home. And he was playing so shallow right there. It opened up the hole for Span. He took advantage of it.
That was only the Nationals' 5th hit of the night. Span has 2. And it's 2-0 to Desmond. And he takes one 96 in there. Strike 2.
.96, was it in? Good pitch, right in the corner.
Well, you can't be looking for anything else with a guy throwing that hard.
Or throwing it 90% of the time like we showed you on the Arsenal.
2-2, yeah, so you would figure this is a good matchup for Ian Desmond. He'll chop it foul.
And I thought that was funny that Joe Girardi brought the lefty Wilson to face Denard Span, and he didn't throw him a wrinkle. All fastballs. And they usually bring a lefty to face a lefty because of these secondary pitches. Denard did a nice job of staying on that 96 away.
3-2 Nationals. Still only 1 out. Desmond goes fishing. 2 down.
Fastball up in his eyes and in mid to upper 90s. Tough to get on top of. 95 miles an hour. And look at the location. Above the letters, and Desmond can't catch up.
Now it's up to the contact hitter supreme in Yunel Escobar. 0 for 2 with the base on balls tonight. He's driven in 14 runs. Escobar facing Justin Wilson for the first time. And this is a hitter who will make you throw strikes. Two and 0 right off his belt buckle there.
So if you hit her one pitch, one spot on a tee and get all over it. If it's not exactly where I'm looking, even if it's a strike you're taking right here, you look at it one spot, keyhole him. Nice job tonight from Jordan Zimmerman.
88 pitches, 60 strikes. 2 early runs, only 5 hits the entire 7 innings. Walked 1, struck out 6. Escobar late again, but he's a tough guy to strike out.
I don't think he's so much late there, Carp, as he's trying to use the whole field, go the other way. And with 96, sometimes, you know, when you're shooting for that gap, look where Mark Teixeira's playing him. That's where he hits a lot of balls, right there in that hole between first and second. Teixeira's way off the base, trying to take that away.
Escobar, tapper to third. Headley has to wait for it. Guns it to Teixeira. The Nats will get 1 in an inning that started with an error. And now 6 outs up to the bullpen. Series between the Yanks and the Nats. Toyota K's for Kids, the Washington area Toyota dealers, helping children and their families every time a Nat pitcher strikes out an opposing hitter. $37 to the children's inn at the National Institutes of Health. Jordan Zimmerman racking up 6 tonight.
Yeah, after the first inning, really got into a groove, almost got loose. You see the Tight little slider right there. Another curve ball and a check swing. Slider down and in. So he had slider and curve ball going. I thought the curve ball was his best secondary pitch tonight.
And that was a big strikeout of Drew with 2 on 2 out in the 6th inning in a tie game. Here's Matt Grace, who got the win last night. Pitched the 10th inning. Couple of strikeouts. He walked Mark Teixeira. He faces the top of the Yankee order here.
Jordan threw 60 fastballs, 18 sliders, 10 curves tonight in his 88 pitches. None changeups.
Grace got through that 10th inning last night with 16 pitches, 9 strikes. He faces Gardner, who lined out to center on that fantastic play by Denard Span. Escobar well onto the grass at third. That was 88, just really fading up and into the left-handed batter.
Oh, 1-run game. A guy with wheels. He's got 10 stolen bases. A save could be right here, right now. Got to keep him off the bases.
In the zone with 88, 1-1.
Matt Grace with a big assignment right here early in his career. 1-run lead. You got the 8th. Go get him.
Then 90 up and in. Drops the big hook and strikes him out in the dirt. Well, this rookie's been unflappable, Matt Grace.
Well, it's a nice sequence by Wilson Ramos. Fastballs up and into the slider away. Big first out in a 1-run game. So he just showed him a fastball up and in. Now Gardner's thinking, I got to get to the fastball. I got to get to the fastball. It was late. He starts his swing early. He pulls the string on a slider. Big first out here in the 8th.
Next up, Carlos Beltran. From the right side, 6 for 33, hitting a .182. Busted bat. Desmond, he has been busy. 2 down. Jeep takes us for a ride inside the numbers. Teixeira coming up. One of those guys with the most career home runs in interleague play that are still active. A-Rod, Pujols, Teixeira. The Yankees have the most wins ever as a team in interleague play with 194. And Pujols' Angels are tied with the Red Sox, second all-time. Teixeira 0 for 3 tonight with 3 balls on the ground against Jordan Zimmerman. Grace walked him last night. Ball 2. Brian McCann on deck, left-handed batter, so he does not have to give in to this right-handed power guy. Staying away, 3-0.
Yeah, make it beat you the other way. Possible green light right here.
That's on the edge. Notice whenever Matt Grace puts the ball in his glove, his hand does a lot of moving around on his grip right until the last second.
Well, he does that so he doesn't tip his pitches. Just keep it moving the whole time. You can't see anything in the glove.
Then he goes changeup. Teixeira looks back and will take his base. He's aboard with 2 outs.
Peanuts are at the Fitz through the 21st. They take on the Carolina Mudcats. Come out and enjoy all-you-can-eat Wednesdays. The Thursday cheers with live pregame music. Go to the website or the number on your screen. Give it a call.
Last night, which turned out to be the Yankees' final at bat before the Zimmerman walk-off, Matt Gray struck out Brian McCann. Aaron Barrett getting ready. Looking a little further down. Chase Headley, a switch hitter, follows McCann. And Headley's hitting only .204 right-handed. Runner aboard, 2 outs, 8th inning.
It's a good shot at how he just rolls that around, gets the grip, and goes. For those of you who don't know what tip and pitches are, hitters will look out there into a glove, and if you see the glove move a certain way, it could tell you what pitch is coming. So if you grab a changeup, for instance, you have a wider grip, and your glove fans out, and it'll tell the hitter what's coming. And it looks like the Yankees are going to go with the pinch runner here for Mark Teixeira.
And that's Slade Heathcott, who was called up today from AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre to replace Jacoby Ellsbury on the roster. Makes his major league debut as a pinch runner.
So if your glove is always moving, it's hard to tell.
First pitch breaking ball missing. First day in the big leagues, and he's in the game. And now 2-0. Pardon me, ball 3. And this is really the hitter that Matt Grace wanted to face. Still can come back and get him, and it's 3-1.
This is where we've seen Brian McCann in the past cheat on a fastball in, look for something on the inner half, and really think about lofting one.
Checking his swing. It is a swing. Strike 2.
Well, good call by Wilson Ramos. He knew that Brian McCann was looking fastball in. Brian McCann was looking fastball in, and when he realized this was a slider, his shoulder flew open, his hips flew open, and the bat went just a little bit too far. Huge pitch coming here.
Crowd of over 37,600. Getting some noise going right before that step off.
3 shakes to a fastball in.
Target in. And McCann just got a piece of it with Heathcott on the move. A runner with 55 career minor league stolen bases.
But I like that. A young pitcher shaken 3 times to the pitch he feels confident in, that has conviction to throw in a big count.
And now McCann gets a pass with 2 outs. And the aforementioned Chase Headley. One for 3 tonight, and in the series 2 for 7. RBI double last evening.
Well, I think you nailed it, Carp, when you said he's hitting 204 right-handed, 256 left-handed. Randy Knorr decided to keep him on the right side.
But Matt's got to start throwing some strikes here. A pair of 2-out walks. Yankee fans in the yard starting to make some noise. Nats fans trying to drown them out.
I thought last night was fascinating when Alex Rodriguez came to the plate and Drew Storm was pitching. It was, I don't know,
Drews and Boos.
90% Boos and 10% Drews, or 50-50. I don't know what it was, but it's the loudest Nats Park has been in a while.
3-2 game, top of the 8th. And a bouncing ball to Desmond. The short way to Espinosa. Inning over. And now only the bottom of the order remains for the Yankees. The Nats still lead 3-2. Brought to you by DraftKings. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code Dugout for free entry. By visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. And by your local BMW centers. What a gorgeous night in D.C. The Nats have a chance to win their 7th consecutive series. I'd like to pick up an insurance run or two here. Garrett Jones will come into the ball game and play first base for the Yankees. We'll check on the batting order in a moment. Slade Heathcott will stay in and play center field. And the new pitcher will be right-hander Esmil Rogers.
Yeah, fastball, slider, cut the fastball, curveball change. Fastball averages 93 miles an hour. Throws the slider 21%, the curveball 18%.
That's a big breaking ball. Garrett Jones batting in the number 8 spot for the Yankees. And a tapper, third baseline. Taylor off to the races, and Chase Headley, who's had an interesting night over there, makes a good play.
Yeah, just went straight to the bare hand right here. Didn't mess around at all on a big hop. Palms it, nice throw. And a good stretch by Jones at first base. Gets the speedy Taylor. Nice play.
By the way, Jones batting 7th, not 8th for the Yankees, so he'll be the second man up in the top of the 9th. And here's Ryan Zimmerman. 0 for 2 with the base on balls. 2 for 3 career with a double and a walk against the right-hander Rogers, who was with the Rockies from 09 through 2012 and then stops in Cleveland and Toronto since. Drew Storen, scoreless 9th inning last night. And trying to get his 11th save of the year.
A little drama on deck too, huh?
Absolutely.
Going for 20 games in the hit streak. One more chance.
Yeah, and FP, by the way, the Nats scoring in the 7th, giving Jordan Zimmerman a chance for a well-deserved win. Ryan IDing the breaking ball. .350 Nats, 251 Yankees, and that error was a big play. Headley couldn't handle the Ramos top spin bouncer. Starting off the 7th. Three and one.
Well, 3-1 count last night's when he wrapped one around the right field foul pole and sent every Nats fan home happy. Right there. Is that where it hit?
Right at the knees, right on the edge. Good pitch.
Wants to throw the same pitch.
Zimmerman goes out and gets it.
It's a good effort.
Yeah.
I kept booing the guy. I mean, he tried hard. He had his glove.
Hold up the green card. Everybody's okay.
That ball was hit hard. He tried for it. He missed. Guy next to him's got a bruise. So what?
Payoff to Zimmerman again, and that's a good at bat by Ryan. On base for the second time tonight.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Well, the Mets are getting hammered 9-0 at home tonight. The Nats could be 24-17 and have a game lead in the National League East. Business to take care of, though. Ramos and Moore the next two. Wilson Ramos 0 for 3, reached on an error last time up. Front door breaking ball, a beauty. Ramos is 1 for 3 career with a single against Esmil Rogers.
When you get to a 19-game hitting streak, you're thinking about it right now. Trust me. He knows what's up. You know, maybe when you're at 10 games as a player, you really don't care. But when it starts to get into the teens and people are in your locker every day, they're asking you about it, you absolutely know what's going on if you're Wilson Ramos.
One ball, one strike. Good take, 2-1. That's a good 96 to the outer edge.
Well, he's really commanded the fastball to the glove side nicely. This isn't just an average fastball on the black. That was 96 paint away.
Way inside, ball 3.
Oh, here we go.
Nats have been given 3 walks in the last 2 innings.
Pretty good average on a full count this year.
Wow. Zimmerman short lead at first. 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. Ramos on a fastball up, straight back.
I'll tell you one thing I'm thinking if I'm Wilson Ramos right now is I ain't walking. Because ding dong, the streak is dead if I walk right here. So, you know, you're not going to swing at something over your head, but you're definitely going to expand your zone a little bit. And he'd love to hit that hole that Ryan Zimmerman's created for a little first and third 1 out action.
Yeah, he hit a hole above the left field bullpen last night. 3-2 with 1 out. Ramos on a slider strikes out. Zimmerman was running on the pitch. First base considered occupied even with the runner going. And so Wilson Ramos is 0 for 4, but Ryan Zimmerman steals second base.
Yeah, they went with a 3-2 curveball right here. 82 miles an hour straight down. Wilson over the top. Brad McCann tried to rush to throw out Ryan Zimmerman and missed.
No, that could be a huge 90 feet. Next up is Tyler Moore, who has homered tonight and walked. He's 1 for 2. And facing Rogers for the first time.
Nice play in left field. 3rd home run of the year. Walked last time up. Tyler Moore having a nice night.
Yeah, he's been contributing something just about every time he has stepped on the field lately.
He's learning how to be a good bench player, and that's something he struggled with the last few years. He gets a start, he contributes. He gets an at-bat, he contributes. That's what good bench players do.
That one had him locked up. And Chris Siegel says that's a swing.
From the side, what did Chris Siegel see?
Close.
Very close. Go back to the 4th inning. Tyler Moore, 2 strikes, spread out, took a little out of his swing, shortened up his stride, and just snuck one out here in the flowers in left field. Hit speed 96 miles an hour.
And Brett Gardner waiting for a carom that never came. That tied the game back in the 4th. Nats scratching out a run on the Desmond, rather the Span hit right before Desmond hit in the 7th. And now a 2-1 to Tyler Moore. Man, this guy doesn't throw many fastballs at all. 3-1. A lot of breaking pitches, a lot of long counts.
You know, this is the 18th home game this year, and I've seen more balls hit the flowers in left field in 18 home games this year than I think I have in 4 years combined.
Mayflowers, man.
They're just, it's in play all of a sudden, the flowers in left.
Full bloom.
I think Jason Worth's hit him. Ryan Zimmerman's hit him. Mother's Day, you got one on the way out. I mean, it's been lots of flowers so far this year.
3-1 pitch. It's a fastball in there at 95. Rogers working deliberately here. He's walked a batter, struck out a batter. Got a ground ball out against Taylor to start the inning.
Can't get on the same page.
Yeah. Breaking ball struck him out on a 3-2 pitch. Here we go. Top of the 9th inning. The Yankees will have Drew, Jones, Gregorius, and if anybody gets on, you would think A-Rod.
Tonight. I wonder why we're showing Denard Span. Just like we promised you earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's go back to the 7th inning. Denard Span with a little base knock in the 5.5 hole. DD Gregorius playing real shallow, created that hole. That scored Wilson Ramos, and that's the difference as Drew Storm takes the mound for the save opportunity. 3-2 Nationals. 2-seam fastball, 4-seam fastball, mid-90s. Breaking ball's the slider. And a changeup in the mid-80s. And here we go.
Drew Storm. Last night appeared here in the 9th inning in a tie game. He got Stephen Drew on a pop-up. Struck out A-Rod looking. Fly ball got Beltran. And it'll be Drew. And Drew matching up to start the 9th tonight. Good looking slider right in there. Stephen Drew 1 for 3 career against Storm. Then he goes changeup.
You know, when Drew Storm first started closing, I don't think he could have grown a beard. Now he's sporting a full one. He's starting to look like a closer.
Drew Storm 11 saves this year, 77 career. He went through the minor league organization in less than 2 seasons because he threw strikes. That's a breaking ball that stays way outside. 3-1. Power hitting left-handed batter on deck in Garrett Jones. Drew a line drive slasher type hitter. 3-1 pitch. He challenges him, and there's a line drive. And there's Michael Taylor. And there's one out. Friday night, the Nats will be taking on the Phillies. Sean O'Sullivan, 1-2 this year. April 17th in the ballpark. Bryce Harper got him. Jose Lobaton got him. And Max Scherzer was pretty good. He's 4-3 with a 1.75 ERA. He was fabulous in San Diego last weekend. Johnny and Ray Nats Extra, 6:30 tomorrow night. And here's Garrett Jones, who's 1 for 4 career against Drew Storm. Steals a strike with the slider. 94 on the hard sinker.
Good sink.
Garrett Jones, 253 career hitter. And with the Yankees this year, only 39 at bats so far with 6 hits. Hit 246 for the Marlins last year with 15 home runs.
He goes that slider to the back knee. Off of the fastball up, changes eye level.
There's a slider up a little, but great deception. 2 down.
Yeah, that one acted more like a changeup. A little backup slider from Drew for out number 2, and everybody on their feet here at Nats Park.
DIDI Gregorius next.
Yeah, well, it just backs up a little bit. He's thinking that's going to break toward me. It backs up. Works nicely for Drew, and last chance for the Yankees.
Gregorius 0 for 1 career against Storen with a ground ball out. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Fastball up and away, and he had him swinging. Alex Rodriguez comes out on deck. Boy, they're really chanting Drew now.
I was just trying to decipher which one it was.
He goes with a changeup, and it's in the dirt. 1-1. Fastball up, and A-Rod will bat after a Gregorius base hit. This ought to be something. I would think Alex Rodriguez will take the bat off his shoulder tonight. He did not take it off his shoulder last night when Drew struck him out looking. Did not swing at 1 pitch during the AB.
I think it was a couple of sliders to a fastball to finish him off. We'll see what he does here tonight. I mean, generally you want to stay away from a guy like this, but Rodriguez's power is to right center field. He can pull an off-speed pitch, but he's had a few home runs up the middle the other way so far this year.
And it's right in there with the slide piece. Rodriguez does have 1 pinch hit home run this year, the first of his career. Fastball up, strike 2. Alex Rodriguez 1 RBI short of Babe Ruth, 2 short of Lou Gehrig, and the game on the line here in the top of the 9th inning. We'll see if Storen will bury that killer slider. Tying runs at first base in Gregorius. Short lead. Zimmerman holds him. And he goes fastball up and in. And Alex Rodriguez evidently went around. The game is over. And at 9:48 p.m. on May 20th, the Washington Nationals are in first place for the first time this year.
And I think Marvin Hudson's day just ended the same way it started. I mean, pitch track had it in there. Marvin Hudson liked it. Drew Storn loved it.
Wow.
Good frame by Wilson Ramos. And the Nats go to 17-4 since the chocolate syrup incident in Atlanta. They're playing as good as anybody in baseball. What a game here again tonight.
They sweep the Yankees and win their 7th consecutive series. Yeah, it's been a magical run. More from Nationals Park. A 7th straight series win.